ever had one of those days where everything seems to collapse at once? You wake up late. You spill coffee on yourself. You rush out the door, only to get stuck in traffic. Then, just when you think it can't get worse, your phone rings with bad news. It's as if the universe is conspiring against you, stacking frustration upon frustration until you feel like snapping. We've all been there. But the truth is, life will always hand us chaos. The real question is, how do you stay calm when everything goes wrong? The Stoics gave us the survival guide. The first step is to understand that events themselves are not the enemy. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who endured wars, plagues, betrayal, and the death of his children, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the essence of Stoicism. The world will shake, but your mind doesn't have to. When the storm hits, your survival depends not on what happens, but on how you interpret it. Think about the last time something went wrong. Maybe your car broke down. Maybe you lost money. Maybe someone disappointed you. The frustration didn't come from the event itself, but from your story about it. This shouldn't have happened. Why me? This ruins everything. That story is what drowns you. The Stoic move is to strip away the story and face the raw fact. The car broke down. That's it. Money was lost. That's it. You were disappointed. That's it. Facts are bearable. It's the mental drama that makes them unbearable. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." He knew that half our pain comes from anticipation and exaggeration. A delay becomes a catastrophe in our mind. A mistake becomes the end of the world. But reality itself is often simpler, smaller, and survivable. When everything goes wrong, your job is to shrink the story down to the truth and cut away the noise of panic. The second step is to remember that calm is not weakness. In a crisis, most people either explode in anger or collapse in despair. Calmness is often mistaken for indifference. But the Stoics knew it's the ultimate form of strength. Picture two captains in a storm. One is screaming at his crew, flailing his arms, panicking. The other is silent, steady, giving clear commands. Which one do you trust to bring the ship home? That's the power of composure. It creates stability when the world shakes. And here's something the Stoics understood deeply. Panic spreads. If you lose your cool, everyone around you will too. But calm spreads as well. Your composure becomes a shield for others. In modern life, this could mean staying steady when your family argues, or being the voice of reason when your workplace is in chaos. In a world that constantly loses control, the one who stays calm holds the real authority. Third, practice what Epictetus taught. Focus only on what you control. If the flight is delayed, no amount of rage will make it depart faster. If the stock market crashes, no amount of despair will change the numbers. Energy spent on the uncontrollable is energy wasted. Instead, channel it into what you can control. Your response, your preparation, your perspective. This shift alone can transform chaos into clarity. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you lose your job unexpectedly. Most people spiral. Fear of bills, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. A Stoic strips it down. The job is gone. That's the fact. Can I control the company's decision? No. Can I control how I respond? Yes. I can update my resume. I can reach out to contacts. I can treat this as an opportunity for growth rather than a punishment. The job is lost, but my calm, my will, my focus remain intact. That's survival. Another timeless technique. Prepare your mind before disaster strikes. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Marcus Aurelius began his days by imagining the difficulties he would face. Rude people, delays, misfortune. Not to become cynical, but to become ready. If you expect storms, you don't collapse when they arrive. You simply put on your cloak and keep walking. Modern people resist this practice because they don't want to jinx themselves. But the Stoics knew that life will bring difficulties, whether you imagine them or not. Better to be prepared than blindsided. But what about when disaster hits you suddenly, when there's no time to prepare, no time to plan? The Stoic tool here is the pause. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." When chaos strikes, your first impulse is often your worst. Someone insults you and you want to snap back. Something breaks and you want to rage. But if you can pause, even for 5 breaths, you create a space where wisdom can enter. That pause is where composure is born. Now, let's address the hidden danger. Most people aren't destroyed by the disaster itself, but by their resistance to it. They keep shouting, "This shouldn't be happening," as if reality cares. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nature takes what belongs to her. Why be upset? If you're upset, it's as if you were upset that figs have seeds." In other words, chaos is part of life's design. Loss, delay, failure, betrayal. These are not malfunctions of the system. They are the system. You cannot live without them. The sooner you accept this, the lighter your life becomes. And here's a secret. Calm under chaos is attractive. People notice it. While everyone else is spiraling, the one who stays composed becomes a pillar. In business, that earns you respect. In relationships, that builds trust. In your own soul, that creates peace. Calm is not passive. Calm is commanding. Now let me pause here and ask, if these Stoic lessons are hitting home for you, if you want to carry this kind of unshakable calm into your daily life, make sure you subscribe right now. Because week after week, we're building the armor of the mind together, piece by piece. Let's continue. Another survival strategy from the Stoics is to use perspective. When something goes wrong, zoom out. Imagine the problem as a single dot on the vast canvas of your life. Will it matter tomorrow? Will it matter a year from now? Will it matter when you are gone? Most of the time, the answer is no. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly of the scale of the universe. Against the backdrop of eternity, today's chaos is a grain of dust. That perspective doesn't erase the problem, but it shrinks it down to size. Let me give you an example. You miss an important meeting. At first, you're furious at yourself. You call yourself careless, you replay it in your head. But zoom out. In a year, will anyone remember? Will it define your life? Or is it just a tiny pebble in the road? Perspective frees you from the prison of overreaction. Finally, remember that calm is not just a tool for survival. It's a weapon for growth. Every disaster, every setback, every wrong turn is a training ground for your character. The Stoics believed that obstacles are opportunities. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The storm is not your enemy. It's your forge. Without it, you remain soft. With it, you become unbreakable. So the next time everything goes wrong, when you lose the deal, when the car breaks down, when betrayal stings, when the day collapses, remember, this is not the universe punishing you. This is the universe sharpening you. And if you can meet it with calm, you've already won. So let me leave you with this. When chaos comes, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, how can this train me? That question alone shifts you from victim to victor, from chaos to calm, from fragile to unshakable. If this message resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and keep walking the Stoic path with me, because life will always go wrong. But with the right mindset, you will always rise above it.